Oh, I'm looking up I gotta look up something. Oh goodness, help me. I gotta get out this chair. Ooh, this chair. Let me see. Mm, Let me see if I can find this thing that I had. Hello. That's you, Vea. I gotta refresh my thing. Hello, daughter. You funny. Hello, daughter. You funny. I think this is on mute. Hello, everybody. Hi. Somebody sending a bunch of hearts. Thank you, whoever that is. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Those children like in my thumbnail, those my grandkids. So this I'm a first time grandma 2 times. Hello, y'all. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks. Is that you hitting the hearts? Stop it. Somebody sent me a message. I gotta see what they say. Why you sad? Why would you be sad about that? Like that's just I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Hold on. I'm trying to read. Hold on. Let me zoom this up. Let me pull this up because I'm trying to see what letter this is. Because someone pulled the R on me. I don't know what that means. I mean, I ain't gonna read the comment out loud. Girl, get up back over there. Hello, everybody. Hello. I come on here on a random. It's the weekend. I came on here before, but hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I wasn't even gonna talk about this, but I am, and I ain't trying to scare nobody. But this happened this week. I had an incident inside a Hobby Lobby. It shocked the life out of me. It shocked me to the core. It happened this week. So I ain't gonna say the location, you know what I mean? Because I've been in this location a lot of times and nothing never ever happened like that before. But I did call and report it because the way it went down, it was it was crazy. Like I was in there shopping, right? So Hobby and Lobby got their own vinyl now, right? So they got their own mats like Cricket, they got their own line. So so Hobby and Lobby got their own line for like if you need Cricket mats, they 10 times cheaper than the mats at Michael's. So I think I saw a pack of Cricket mats for like $17. Michael's used to be like good on giving out their coupons, but they've been real stingy with them lately. So I was inside a Hobby and Lobby, and my daughter, because they got a sublimation line in there too now. Like they got paper. I saw A-sub paper in there, and then they had some items in there that I have never subbed on. So I was gonna get a couple of them. So we walking to the counter. I got a handful of stuff, and the man in the next aisle, he had on a shirt, and the shirt was saying some off the wall stuff, like straight racist, like the worst of the worst. So the cashier, no, listen to my story. The cashier, she's ringing me up, right? And she's reading his shirt as she like trying to ring me up at the same time. So they start talking that politics stuff. So a girl was in front of him and she was telling the man, like, you should be ashamed of yourself coming into the store spewing that kind of hate. Yeah, so he telling so the girl in front of him telling him he should be ashamed of himself coming in that store with that kind of hate. And then the cashier tells the guy, the Hobby and Lobby cashier tells the man with the shirt. She says, well, I'm conservative and I love the shirt. And she was ringing me up, right? And I said, what you just say? And so she looked at me. She said, what? What did I say? And so she was like, I read his shirt. Like I said, the shirt was straight blank racist. And she said, I'm a conservative. And then she blasts the whole chain out. She said, I quote, you didn't know that this store was conservative? The whole entire store is conservative. Everybody is conservative. And I was like, okay. So, like the girl was saying to her, you should be ashamed as a cashier for even, you work here. This is your job. You should be ashamed for even saying this on the job. And so when she said that, I put all my shit back. Soon as she said, I agree with what the man's shirt said, I had a handful of stuff. The stuff at Hobby and Lobby was on sale. Soon as she said she agreed, and she couldn't understand what she was saying, she couldn't understand what was wrong with her agreeing with that. It was bad. And I put all my shit back like, oh no, y'all can, I said, here y'all go. And so then the girl in the next lane, she put her stuff back. So then the cashier was like, what's happening? The other cashiers was like, what? Because she just saw people put their stuff back walking away. So she like, what's happening? What's happening? And the lady, I'm walking off. The lady was like, you don't want none of this stuff, man. I'm like, lady, man, get out of here. You're going to blast the whole chain out like that. So I was like, oh, thank you for telling me that. So I called him. I told on her. Like, yo, I come in that store all the time. Like, I don't want, like, y'all agree to disagree with that politics stuff. But that hate spilling politics, man, no, you ain't gonna get my business like that. But they did have the stuff on sale, y'all. They did. Man, and it was 10 times cheaper because the Cricket mats was 17. These mats at Michael's, they got their own brand. Those mats was like $11. And then they got their own vinyl. Their vinyl is 10 times cheaper than it's 50%. I ain't gonna lie, that vinyl like 50% cheaper than the vinyl at Michael's. I was like, when did they start this? But anyways, I'm here to talk about this. Okay, so I'm going live because I just want to show y'all the information where I had to do this. So I took I had some other ink, and I ended up having to switch ink, because of the convenience and, money costs and stuff like that. So I got an Epson 16650, and I had sublimation ink in there, and I had to do a purge. And I thought it was going to be really hard because this is a big printer. But the night before, I was kind of planning how I'm going to take it to the sink, because a lot of people use the syringe method, and I didn't do that. So like I say, if you decide to learn how to purge your machine, I'm not going to show the purging. I would never show it, only because like you gotta do what's best for your situation, and I don't want to be liable for like, oh, this girl on, YouTube. So, but basically all I did, instead of using the syringe method, I turned the machine upside down. So when you turn it upside down, if you do it that way, you still got to go back and purge all the rest of the ink that's in the lines. And that it took a long time. I ain't gonna lie. It was a easy process, but the time, because I had to do so many purges, it took like almost maybe an hour, maybe almost 2 hours. It wasn't straight. It wasn't. Yeah, it was long. So I did like I purged all the ink out. Then I did a power. Um, I did a power clean, and then it's storming. I did a power clean. Then I did a line check, and then I did a top off. So what a top off is that even though you purging the other ink out, right? Before you purge the lines, the rest of the ink in the lines, you gotta add the new ink in the tank. So before I started my purge, I put the ink in a tank like it told me to do, and then I did it like a regular Epson ink, but it took 80 purges. So the kind of printer, that's why I say these instructions that I'm going to post, they're going to tell you based off of the printer you have how many purges to do. So I can't tell you the number of purges because it went by, like my machine went by 80 purges because of the kind of machine I got is kind of big. And it did take a long time. So after, hey, can you go get that license plate for me? The license plate that I sold the other night. It's on top of that dresser. Because I just want to show what happened after I did a purge. So after I did a purge, now mind you, after you put your ink in the tank, then you should be cleaning up, because the ink, if you dump it, ink is going to splatter. You're going to be like, make sure you have gloves because it's going to come out. It's going to come out real fast. Is this the one that's done? Okay. So after I do all my flushes, I clean it, clean it up, flushes or whatever. Then I go in, check my lines, make sure I ain't got no breaks. And then I go and I sublimate. So I wanted to see how the ink came out on, one of my sublimation projects as a test. And I have it right here. So this is what it came out. This was my first print. This was my first test since putting the new ink. And sometimes, like when you fill in new ink and you do a hard power clean, sometimes you be having lines. So this is just an old what's this called? A license plate that I had. It's an old license plate that I had. So I'm happy with the results. Let me see. It's too shiny over here. So it's I love the way sublimation look, and it's real glossy. And my blue is blue, my red is red. All the colors is in. And the ink that I got came off of Amazon. This is my first time using this ink. And the ink is like I said, it's 10 times cheaper. So if anybody had problems, I never saw nobody complaining about this ink. It's called Hippo. So me versus paying what I was getting ready to pay and paying $30, like this is less than $30. It was like $27. And then I did a shirt also. So I did a shirt, and I did a shirt for somebody after I put my fresh ink in. So I'm about to pull up that site that I was on to see if it's still on here. Or I might have to just post it after the live. Let's see. It was now the one step by step that I'm looking for. It was very detailed. I don't know who that is. They done did something. Why is this coming up like this? Oh yeah, we on the phone. Hold on, I'm trying to find this site. This is, I think my Google is on AI mode or something, because they pulling up stuff that I don't want them to pull up. No, it's, you know, I'm gonna have to get it off my cell phone, because that link, what I was, let me see. What I read, it was like right on the money. Like it didn't, like he was he was doing the method with the tank, you know, like he didn't use the syringes. Man, he had a, I don't know what the site was. I'm gonna find it, because I wanted to show, but I'm gonna post it when I find it. This is crazy. Some people use like a what's that called? A line. Some people use a line or some type of line to get the purge that ink out. The cleaner. It's like a solution, like a clear solution. But I didn't do none of that. Like I said, I never had problems with this printer. All I know is sometimes I know when air gets in the lines, because when I would print my projects, it wouldn't look right. The lines will break. And I never did no color adjustments or nothing on here either. Man, I am about to try to. I wanted to show y'all on here. It was so detailed. Um, What is you doing? Oh. That's my daughter, y'all, my baby. Oh man, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the right link. You know what? Mm-mm-mm. I ain't do this method. Yeah, they pulling up some AI stuff. I ain't never seen this before. But no, I just followed the simple instructions. Like, and what made me read the article is that the guy was saying that information came from experts. Like that's how they get their ink out. But all I know is the guy, if y'all ever run into it, the guy, the Logan, the guy got on glasses. It's like a black and white picture of him with glasses or something. Black, white, or pink. I don't know what company he was from, but he had a whole article on it. So that's what it's called. Just make sure y'all check y'all ink levels, you know. But when I did my purge, I used a box, but I ended up getting a second box. So when the fresh ink go through those lines, your levels is gonna start going down in the tank. That's when you know, like. But like I said, I did 80 when I did 80 prints, and not. But you ain't gonna do it on. You're not gonna do it on a regular sublimation setting. The instructions say specifically to do it on paper mat or something like that. And so that's what I did. Like I just let it run. I went and did. It was thundering out here. Yeah, I went and did what I was supposed to do. Cleaned up around the house. Checked the printer to make sure it wasn't nothing crazy. And then I take a dry alcohol after from all those prints. Like I dab it a little bit, and then I just wipe to make sure ain't no ink left over or nothing like that. But it took a while. Yep. So, and I be having to purge not purge, but I have to do a cleaning on my 85502 because I noticed something. I was printing some party favors, and lines was going all across my work, and I said, oh no. And so I ended up having to do a cleaning, and it ran back to normal. But sometimes when I have a lot of prints with my 8550, I don't run the whole cycle. Like I let it stop. Like if I get like an order of 20, I print 10 at a time. Let it chill. Then I print 10 more. I don't want to run the machine down. And then when I had 80, I had to break the time down because it was, like I said, 80 prints. I said, damn, that's gonna be a long time. But and I sublimate from here. It's storming, girl. Ain't nobody coming. You think they're gonna come up for some food? Oh my God. My baby want me to order something. And it's storming. Girl, you something else. You better go in there and eat that stuff. Man, I was trying to find it, but Once I get off of here, it's gonna come in there. All right. So y'all have a good night. I hear the storm. All right, y'all have a good night. All right.